Here we are then, F1 22 has finally arrived. Leave a like if you're excited, subscribe for more as I'm going to bring you guys loads of new exclusive content over the next few weeks. And yeah, we're going to jump into a sprint race here today around the new Miami circuit. In the background, you're going to see some gameplay of me driving in the Haas of Kevin Magnussen. And before we get into the action, I want to give a massive shout out to EA and the Creator Network for making this video possible. So shout out to those guys. But in the background, you're going to be seeing me go through all the settings, making sure that we have no assist, and also select the sprint mode setting. And we're going to jump into what is a 5-lap race in, of course, one of the Haas team's home races. So let's get into it, featuring the new commentator, Alex Jakes.
Thank you for joining us once again as we get another Formula One Grand Prix underway. Sitting at the southeastern coast of Florida, the Miami International Autodrome has 19 corners and 3.36 miles of racing. It's a circuit designed to encourage close racing while meeting the highest safety standards. Either way, I am sure it's one which will please the fans. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, and Perez, Russell, Ocon, Gasly, and Yuki Tsunoda, Bottas, Ricciardo, Mick Schumacher, and Vettel, Norris, Joe, Alex Albon, Stroll, and Nicholas Latifi. And now it's time to head down to the track. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you here with us today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Now, this gameplay is work in progress, so what you're seeing is not final. Things are still being worked on, so bear that in mind. That includes the car models, the menus, and many other things, so don't judge it too harshly for now. Having said that, in the background you can see the setup menu, which this year has changed quite a bit, especially on the front wing. We now have 0 to 50 in terms of wing options as we get ready for the sprint race. And look at the revs, by the way, we are running here as the 5 lights go out, and a new start sequence this year as you have to really fight to find the grip. And much like in real life, if you look at the tyre temps in the bottom right, our tyres are stone cold, and so are everybody else's as we make our way through the first sequence of corners there, trying to fight the car, find the grip, and trying to get the tyres switched on, which do take a while to come alive, by the way. It takes a solid lap and a half to really get them in the sweet spot as we make our way into turns 4, 5, 6, and 7, I believe, trying to see if we can make some moves here. We've got Magnussen on the outside. We're going to try to squeeze him off, but he keeps his nose in, to be fair. On the run now down towards the next heavy brake zone into the hairpin, we're going to out-drag the Alfa Romeo and the Williams, and now we can try and chase down Lando Norris up ahead here into this heavy brake zone, into the Hard Rock Stadium.
Caution, caution.
Bit of a moment there though, as I think Lance Stroll has wrecked his car and he's out of the race, and he's had contact with Lando, and we've got a virtual safety car. So a moment to recollect our thoughts and just kind of, regroup, reassess, and try to go again. You can see my tyre temp now is starting to pick up a little bit, and even by the end of the VSC period, you can see we've now gone into the low to mid 80s, which is a bit more of a raceable temperature.
Virtual safety car is ending. Maintain your pace until we get the green flags. VSC ending, wait for the greens.
And there we go, straight back underway, green flag racing.
Okay, clear.
And we've got full, pretty much decent tyre temps now, so we can start to really push and give it some. And that's a new, element of this game, where you have to be careful at the start of the race with the cold tyres, and really try to be on eggshells in the first lap or so But now though, you can see side by side with Lando Norris down.
Okay, battery's looking good. You can use the overtake button to get past.
Down the outside as Lando, I think, has contact with Mick Schumacher and loses an end plate, and we're going to use that as an opportunity to get by and make the move. So we progress up into P16. Sebastian Vettel is next. We tried to sneak one up the inside there, but that didn't quite work out as we now head onto the massive back straight.
Use your overtake button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on.
And you can hear our new engineer this year, Jeff, is gone. We have an actual real-life engineer, Mark Prix, formerly of McLaren back in the day, is giving us some encouragement as we got the inside of Sebastian Vettel into the final corner. On the traction battle though, we don't quite get the drive, and Seb re-overtakes us on 90 AI difficulty, which is pretty insane.
That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done.
In the meantime, we set a new fastest lap as we get DRS unable to make a move up the inside of turn 1 on Seb, and now we could chase after our teammate Mick Schumacher. We cut on to a few moments later in the lap, eventually heading through the Hard Rock Stadium section, and you can see here we're all over the back of our teammate trying to look for a pass as we head into, again, the very slow Mickey Mouse section. This is where I was gaining quite a bit of time on that AI around the lap. Onto the back straight, trying to get that traction down, and we're going to use up, I'd say, the majority of our battery that's remaining here to try and have a look into the hairpin once again. Let's see, DRS open as we try to make a move, slowly gaining on the straight into the heavy brake zone, brake at the Aramco board up above, and then on the brakes we lock up the front, run in a bit deep and have some contact. Luckily we still go through and don't get any damage, so we're up into P14. DRS open again as we now begin the chase after Daniel Ricciardo in the McLaren. So onto lap 4, we make an absolute mess of that turn 1 apex as we got too much inside curb, and that kind of upset the balance of the car. One thing I want to mention as well, it does feel like curbs have a bit more of a presence this year and are a bit more important how you treat them for your racing, and I do think we'll see more of that later on as I do more videos on this game. Nonetheless, in the meantime, we've had a pretty good first sector here, and we're closing in on Ricciardo. We're using up pretty much the rest of our battery as we now open the DRS along the back straight on the run up to the heavy brake zone here. We're going to go to the inside, this time on Ricciardo, under braking. Easy does it, don't lock up, and there we go. Nice clean move for P13, and now we have Bottas and Alex Albon ahead of us as we go through again the slow section here, trying to find the grip. We're going to set up the exit and see if we can get the drive out of here, which isn't too bad, and Albon doesn't have DRS, so he could come under massive pressure here as both myself and Valtteri open the DRS down the back straight. Bottas, is he going to get the move done? Yes, he does. Albon moves back into the racing line. We're going to try and go around the outside, but Bottas locks up, and we have to take evasive action. On the exit though, we still managed to get past Albon using the traction like Vettel did in us earlier on.
Okay, this is your final lap of the race.
And now we're going to try and send one on Bottas, but we outbrake ourselves into the first corner. So I'll let you guys enjoy the engine sounds for this last lap or so, and I'll get back to you by the end. And there we go then, we got past Valtteri and raced on. Carlos wins the sprint, and we're going to finish in P11 as Kevin Magnussen, and there we go, across the line for the race.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Well, there we go then guys, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more exclusive gameplay, and yeah, let me know what you guys want to see next in the comments down below. But there you go, a sprint race in F1 22 at Miami.
That's a fantastic performance from Ferrari. It hardly looked in doubt.
I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on track was: speed. I know it sounds like an awfully reductive statement, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.